parents first joined the group. I told them about the meetings, the leader who said gravity was poison, how Dad installed the bars himself. I gave them the compound address Dad had written on a paper I'd seen, the one where we were supposed to move next week. Lori wrote it all down and said they were getting an emergency order from a judge to check on my siblings right away. She promised they'd be removed tonight and asked if we had any relatives who could take us. I told her about Mom's sister who lived 2 states away, but she'd stopped talking to us after Mom joined the group. Detective Bradshaw asked about the photos I'd mentioned to the EMTs, and I told him everything I'd seen on Dad's laptop. I described the forum where parents posted pictures of their kids hanging, the prices for different types of photos, how the leader used the money to build his compound. I'd memorized the medical equipment company name from the boxes our boots came in, Gravity-Free Solutions, and he wrote that down too. He asked if I remembered the website address, and I did because I'd looked at it so many times trying to figure out how to report it. While they were asking questions, Dr. Rosen came back with x-ray results showing stretched ligaments in my knees and compressed nerves in my legs. He said I'd need physical therapy for months to walk normal again, but the damage should heal since I was still young. Lori kept checking her phone and finally smiled, telling me the judge signed the order and police were heading to my house right now. She said my siblings would be brought to the hospital for medical checks just like me. Detective Bradshaw asked if I'd be willing to talk to more investigators later, and I said yes because I wanted the leader arrested. He said the FBI would probably get involved since the website crossed state lines and involved kids from multiple states. The nurse brought me juice and crackers, the first food I'd eaten right side up in months, and I had to eat slowly because my stomach wasn't used to gravity pulling food down the right way. Lori stayed with me while we waited for news about my siblings, telling me about foster families who were trained to help kids who'd been through trauma. Around 7 that night, Lori came back to my hospital room with papers in her hand and sat down next to my bed. She told me police had gotten all my siblings out of the house and brought them here for medical checks. My little brother was 2 floors down getting IV fluids because he was so dehydrated from hanging all day. The baby sister was in the pediatric unit getting looked at by specialists since she'd never really walked normal. My older sister had bad rope burns on her ankles that needed cleaning, and my younger sister was getting x-rays of her spine. They were all safe though, and nobody was going back to that house. Detective Bradshaw showed up about an hour later with his notebook out and a tired look on his face. He said they'd searched the whole house and found everything I'd described, plus more. The bars were still there with blood on some of them, and they'd taken photos of every room. Dad's computer had hundreds of pictures of us hanging and crying that matched what I'd told them about the website. They'd arrested both my parents at the house and charged them with child abuse and endangerment. Mom had screamed about her rights, and Dad had tried to explain about the gravity poisoning, but the officers didn't care. They were both in jail now waiting to see a judge. The next morning, a different woman from the court came to explain that a judge had signed emergency papers putting all of us in protective custody. We couldn't go home even if we wanted to, and our parents couldn't come near us. She said CPS would find foster homes for us, and they'd try to keep us together, but sometimes that was hard with 5 kids. I asked about Mom's sister who lived far away, and she wrote down her name to check if she could take us. Later that day, they moved me to a different building called the Child Advocacy Center, where a nice woman with glasses recorded everything I said about what happened. She had toys and stuffed animals in her office even though I was too old for them. She let me stop whenever I needed water or got too upset remembering things. I told her about the bars and the boots and the compound we were supposed to move to. She asked really specific questions about dates and times and who did what to which kid. It took 3 hours to tell everything, and she said I did great. The next afternoon, they brought all my siblings to a big room at the hospital for us to see each other with a social worker watching. My little brother could barely walk and had to use a walker to get around.